to.
Okay, so I want to welcome to Paonia and to the Thrive community, Josh Hagg. He came all the way from LA to visit us here in Paonia for this Bulletproof Your Spine class, and he's also speaking in the Health X Summit later today that hopefully some of you can join in for. And I will turn the stage over to him. So he can introduce himself and tell you about this amazing class he's put together.
Hello, everyone. Um, it's very interesting. I can't say enough positive things about Vasi in terms of putting things on like this. Um, it's really scary and hard to do, and to start something from the ground up. And it's really amazing to be here. And Willie and Matt, thank you. Those online, thank you. Mom, big shout out. Got shout out, Mom. Gotta shout out, Mom. And originally, when we were sitting, and you can sit down, you can relax. This is gonna be super informal since it's a small group, and we're gonna get to do a lot more personalized, a little bit more specific, kind of one-on-one work that we each have, since I can focus more on individuals. But it's funny. I've spent years doing health and wellness from all sorts of different avenues, right? I started as a performance coach, moved through youth, and then kind of got into the physical therapy world. And what's interesting is I realized as time was going on, just a mass amount of people are struggling with back pain, and it's an astronomical amount. And if you've ever had it, it is crippling, it is demoralizing, it takes your gusto out, right? And I know your story with it. I know you've had it. Matt, you ever had any sort of back issues?
Oh yeah, tons.
Yeah, what's your quick hot takes? And it's more informal since it's just us talking.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this isn't a lecture.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned too in my talk, but I had chronic pain, 2016 until 2022, like really bad.
Yeah.
And from what I realized, that a lot of times these things are like referenced from somewhere else in the body,
Yep.
Weak core, maybe even gut health, could even cause back pain. So there's like a big deep dive for my case, like just offering my body, like what's connecting to what.
What about you?
What is this?
I had really bad back pain. Yeah, and when we're talking, maybe you can repeat it or we can talk kind of closer to the laptop so they can hear us. Um, so I broke a rib. I fell face first in an ice skating rink that was not quite frozen. And after that, I had really bad back pain for months. But fasting actually helped me a lot through the process of autophagy. And yeah, and I knock on wood, I haven't had it recently, but I'm excited to learn how I can.
You broke a rib.
Yeah.
Falling, and then had
Yeah.
back pain from that.
Yeah, and it was just kind of pain in the whole area, but then I had back pain when I woke up. I had really like debilitating back pain for months.
I think it's kind of working. It's a little bit slow, but it's working if you want to use it.
What and is it blue on yours?
Blue? No, I mean it's green.
Yeah, just switch it over. Yeah, as long as it's working, so that way it can follow me when I'm doing movements and stuff like that. And I don't have to worry about staying on the mark. It's curious that you broke your rib, and do you remember which one it was?
I mean, I never did an X-ray because they don't do anything for rib pain, but I felt pain kind of on both sides, so I'm
not sure you broke it.
Oh yeah,
pretty sure it was pretty painful for a while. Yeah.
Interesting. Excuse me.
I don't know if it's a camera on.
Yeah, they're trying to sort out some tech things, so we'll jump back into the presentation.
Okay. So, when it's because we were screwing with.
Sorry.
No. It needs to be on the presentation. Yeah, there we go. Good.
Oh, good. Okay.
Okay. I did some deep diving. And so realistically, when we think about back pain, right, 80% was the statistic of overall adults that struggle with some form of pain in their life when it comes to their back, right? 264 million workdays lost annually. That's 100 billion plus is spent on back pain and treatments. And so it's interesting in the fact of all of this can kind of boil back to, I think, this is a personal preference, you can speak to it, Matt, you can speak to it. The biggest thing that plagues us is not nutrition, is not recovery, is not all this stuff. It's actually some form of pain management and keeping people moving and mobile through most of their life as long as we can, right? And there was a really incredible lifting coach. He revolutionized what we do. His name was Charles Poliquin. And his big philosophy with this was that if you strengthen the lower back, if you can bulletproof your lower back, was his comment. And that's where I took bulletproof your spine from. You can drastically change the course of every other lift that you potentially are going to tackle. And I kind of apply that to the real world life. And my job now is to bulletproof you for life, right? And you're a perfect example of, it's an ongoing journey. So we were standing there talking, and it's, you know, something as simple as bending over to pick up groceries or getting, you know, your luggage on an airplane. That's a sport for a lot of people, right? You might be super healthy still right now, but when we start to think about it that way, bulletproofing yourself for life.
There's always work to do, right?
Right. Now, what do you do,
In
Matt?
terms of,
Life. Like, what do you do? I know you're here to coach. I know you're going to be speaking. What do you do?
I mean, I move a lot.
No. Like, what's your job? What do you do?
Right. Well, I'm transitioning into this career as a coach.
Cool.
Coming from a background in a lot of kitchen work for a long time. I worked in kitchen.
You and me both, brother.
Right now, I'm still doing.
I'm surprised you're still standing.
Yeah, it was a brutal world, you know, another life. But yeah, and still doing some baking. I bake at the park. I do some sourdough, like just my own thing. It's for the farmers markets.
You're like the fifth or sixth person I've met in the last like week and a half who, and specifically, it's sourdough. Everyone is going after. I don't know why. What is it? Is it just because it's easy to start with, or what?
No, it's because there's, well, for bees, because there's a lot of nutritional benefits, you know, with
Okay.
yeast or with a typical like commercial wheat. From what it's all, a lot of it's live per se. So the sourdough I make is heirloom. I try to get heirloom grains,
Yep.
avoid all that. But even beyond that, the big problem with wheat is that the instant yeast, it bypasses a lot of the bacteria, a lot of the breakdown process of the fermentation. The fermentation breaks down boric acid, oxalates, a lot of binders to minerals. So you get a lot of indigestion from typical wheat usually, and so that's why I have
Right.
sourdough. It's just
Cool.
more, just easier to eat. You know, it's kind of like the way bread was supposed to be. I think. So,
I don't know the way bread was supposed to be. And what do you still work? Retired?
I do, no,
What
I
do you
still
do?
do work. So I'm a Nordic ski coach with our
Right.
high school program in Summit County in the
Right.
winter, which doesn't pay much.
Yep.
Then I also work for Summit Hut System. That's a backcountry hut system where you ski from hut to hut on the
Okay.
night and sky. A lot of snow shoveling, a lot of stirring poop, a lot of just general maintenance in the
Yeah.
backcountry. So I
Very
ski-
active.
Yeah.
You beat your body up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then my paying job, because my only way to make a living is I'm a trim carpenter. So everything's been
Everything is.
Quite
You're
impressive.
you're the quintessential person to take away some things to fix yourself.
completely, Josh.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been by 400,000 miles on the chassis kind of thing.
Right.
If you want to attribute it to like a correlate with a car or
Yeah.
still a good runner, but a lot of miles on it.
More maintenance. And it's actually, it's a good way, it's a good kind of thought process to kind of assume the body is a car and you need to work on maintenance. We're gonna go through kind of some joint structure here, and I think the first thing I want to give you before we kind of dive into the actual movement is understanding the parts to the car, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people just say, I threw my back out, and they have no idea what that means. They go through their life just kind of assuming it's this one big piece that's just supposed to kind of stand up straight and hope for the best. And the more clients that I've worked with, the faster I can get them to understand segmentation through the spine and that things are supposed to be mobile and stable at different points, like an axle versus a ball bearing, right? Each have different parts in a car. The brakes versus the rotors, different usages, right? I'm going to steal that car's a great analogy. We can start to understand how to manipulate the body and the spine. And for those in the room, I'm trying to not be rude. So if you see me looking away, it's I'm talking to some of the Zoom. Basically my mom. Hi, Mom. So, all right, very straightforward. Cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacrum, and then we go through what's called intervertebral discs. And when there's a phenomenal, I decided to keep the slides jam-packed with information, but very simple that they can just be up there like a roadmap for us through this. I don't have 50 slides in this presentation. There's a phenomenal model of the body that talks about what should be mobile and should be stable. And it starts at the foot, and the foot should be mobile, right? Its job is to, I'm sorry, the foot should be stable. Its job is to interpret the ground. From there, the ankle needs to be, if bottom is stable, we go to mobile. Knee should be stable. We don't want our knee doing all sorts of weird stuff, right? I think I just got that backwards. Yeah, stable, mobile, because it goes back and forth. Howdy, come on in.
Hi, I just heard about it, so I'm sorry.
Welcome. Glad to have you. So if we're looking at the foot, it's stable. We go up to the ankles, mobile. Knee should be stable, hip should be mobile. And with that, we then get to our first and foremost sacrum coccyx, the lumbar spine. And so that's that lower piece. And what a lot of people misunderstand is the fact of they think because of how we sit, because of our lifestyle, it's supposed to be this mobile piece. Our L5, L1 through L5 is this stack of bricks that shouldn't be doing anything. It should be quiet. It likes to be stable. It likes to be still. Thoracic spine going up the chain is the thing that's supposed to have all of our breathing, our rib cage, our mobility. And when we look specifically at hip, lumbar spine, and thoracic spine, there's this inverse relationship happening, right? And so we'll see hips tighten down from life, from the way you're sitting right now. Like, and you're not doing anything wrong. She's pretty good posture-wise. You're pretty good posture-wise, but right?
Yeah.
Look at how he's standing, right? Look at how he bent over, right? I'm picking on the new guy. I was, but my point is, I'm Josh, by the way.
Sam.
Sammy?
Yeah,
It's great to meet you, man.
I'm the new guy.
You're the new guy. You're bending over. I'm picking on you. And so basically, there's this kind of misconception between what should be moving in the body and what shouldn't. And if we can rewire that at fundamental principle and understand that sacrum coccyx and lumbar joint should be still. The thoracic spine needs to be doing all of our movement, You can sit on down and take a rest for a second. This is for you.
Oh,
Merry
thanks.
Christmas. We can basically fix 80% of back pain. And I like to say 80% as the overarching theme. It depends on the person, depends on traumatic injury, depends on lifestyle, because as a skier, you're not getting any lateral motion. You're getting a lot of posterior action. You're going to have a predisposition for certain injuries versus her who sits at a desk and works a 9-to-5 job. I can't dictate each, but the overall theory is if we can lock in on these different concepts from mobile, stable, up through the body, understanding that we need to unlock hips to sacrum, and then sacrum to lumbar stabilizes. Thoracic spine needs to mobilize, and I have cervical up here because it is supposed to be stable. However, we're focused here today on this, okay? If we can think about doing that simple basic plan, right? Integrating it into our workouts, figuring out how to sleep a little bit better, we can start to fix a lot of these things that back pain steals, right? And I think a lot of people just go, oh, I threw my back out, now what? But so many people sitting on the pre-side of back pain don't understand what it's like. And I have steal your confidence. If you've ever hurt yourself, and Sammy, have you ever beaten up your back? Have you ever done anything to it? We kind of all went through some injury profiles here. You ever hurt yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, once or twice.
Well, I mean, it's, I have a constant, effort to
Okay.
straighten up my posture.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're working at it every day, right?
Yeah.
Again, that's one of the answers that you're supposed to be doing. You already know, but it's pretty hard on you, right? It takes your confidence. Debilitating.
Yeah,
You ever throw your back out? can't pick up, can't pet your dog, can't get out of bed, you might need help.
Oh, it's consuming. When it's
Right.
out, it's completely consuming. For
And
me.
the number, it's not for you, the number of people, remember, so like I specialize in spines and shoulders. And I haven't gone through my intro yet, I will in a second, but the number of clients that I see that are scared. It's beyond, I tore my ACL, my shoulder popped out, I can't turn my head because I have a spasm in my neck. There's this loss of self, and it's the weirdest thing, and I don't know why, I can't pinpoint why, it just is. And we just accept it for what it is. But it's this truly this helplessness that comes with genuine back pain problems, right? So I kind of take this as my interlude in it, just to break up the intensity of talking about specifics. My name is Joshua Hay. I specialize in spines and shoulders. I had said to, I believe it was you, Willie. I work with regenerative medicine doctors in Los Angeles, and I see people when surgery and PT hasn't worked. And there has been a tremendous amount of science that has come out about all sorts of injections from, high-level stem cell work all the way down through PRP in terms of what it can do for your body in terms of regrowing tissue and things like that. I'm the guy you see after you've gotten the injections. Doctors have a nasty habit, and we can go down that rabbit hole at lunch, of giving you some random prescription or giving you some random, you need to really work on your hips. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Good luck.
The medical hex.
Right. Go get them. It's now what? Now who do we turn to? Now who do we talk to? And then I'm a big proponent of physical therapy is only as good as the physical therapist.
Not all
And-
created equal.
He could hurt his back and I'm awful and you're amazing. And he comes and sees me and I give him the electro stim, I give him some heat and I send him on his way. And I do that for 6 months. Oh, my back's not better. And you pour your blood, sweat, and tears into fixing him, and all of a sudden he can walk again. And it's as simple as seeing the right person. We do the same modalities, but it's about the person. It's not about the actual therapy, right? And I kind of saw all this unfolding as I came out of my career as an athlete, and I wanted to be able to give more and to be better for our people. And as I had said in the beginning, my clients, I noticed the trends happening over and over and over again. It was always the same systems: hips, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, right? And it was the same movement patterns. And it was the same inadequacies in terms of like strengths and weaknesses. So how can we bulletproof your programs, your warm-up that you're doing, your mobility routine? Do you understand what activation is? Can you just create a system to build someone up long-term that they can just replicate and basically say, yeah, I'm never going to hurt my back. And mind-blowingly enough, with, we'll say 80% certainty, because there's always, you fall, you're in a car accident, something happens. There's always those random moments. It really does work. When we dive into why things don't work, now we talked to mobile stable. We think what's called tight or restricted fascial tissue. So fascia is this incredible. Do you know what the word fascia is?
Sure,
Do you? Yeah. Do you?
I do.
You do. Yes. Yeah.
I'm an anti-fascist.
That's it.
That was good. Sammy gets the fun of the day. That was good. That was good. Fascia is, for those who may not know, for those on the webinar, fascia is this interconnected web of incredible tissue that we will go through here in a little bit. And it is like a spider's web. It is in every layer of every muscle, every spindle, every bundle, every organ. It is what your nervous system integrates to. I am a firm believer that the number one most important thing that we need to address is fascial manipulation. If you can tap into that from both an emotional point as well as a mechanical point, right? The psychological and the mechanical, we can truly unlock the body, right? With that, it now builds into a pyramid almost, right? And so we have restricted joint mobility. A lot of the time now, we'll use Willie as an example, take really specific movement patterns out of play. Cross-country skier does it year-round. Carpenter on his knees doing something year-round. Really specific movement patterns create biases. The body learns that. right? But take that out. We just have restricted joint mobility because of our sleeping patterns, our walking patterns, our breathing patterns, the way we sit, the way we tilt our head. It might be because you broke your left rib. All of a sudden, we start to see these incompetencies in the body, and it creates this picture of immobility because of fascial restriction. When we see restricted joint mobility, right, stiff hips, locked thoracic spine, poor ankle mobility, we can assume that there's underactive stabilizing muscles. And so let's break that down. And I think the easiest way for me to show is the knees versus trying to go through the spine right now. If my joint is unstable, this is called valgus, right? I'm bending my knee in. We can assume the glute, which is the abductor of the body, is not working. Makes sense, right? If this is going one way, something's got to pull it the other way. And we can basically do antagonist, protagonist muscles through the body. The spine has that as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about the actual musculature and what stabilizes. But the big three, glutes, we talk core, we talk lats, right? Big back, honking muscles back there. Those three work together to create that push-pull concept, right? So when we combine all three of these, now we get someone like Willie with a faulty movement pattern. And it's you walk with a limp, you have a turn, you have a drop shoulder, your neck is off. It doesn't matter what it is. They all build together to create these faulty movement patterns. And from my eyes, the very first thing, the most important thing that we need to think about is tight, restricted fascial tissue. And from there, if I can even just give you that, and I never see Matt again, and I give him 3 things to fix some tight fascia, you can change the rest of these over time, right? And this is, again, kind of like a building block situation, right? We're creating a system. Yeah, right.
Okay, so what causes the fascia to be tight and restricted?
I like you. You can hang out. He asks good questions. Matt, he might replace you as a star student.
Maybe you can repeat the question because
Yeah. So go ahead. So it was what causes the tight fascial tissue?
Yeah, something causes it, right?
So the question on the table is what causes the tight fascial tissue? It is a plethora of things. Remember, fascia is nervous system. They are one and the same. They integrate together. Okay? The nervous system is the thing, how it's everything from how you sense the world around you, your emotional inputs, everything. And so with that, we can then assume, unfortunately, everything affects the fascia. There's a wonderful book called The Body Keeps the Score.
Oh, yeah.
And so I fight with my wife. Fascia takes that in, that's data. I eat poorly, that's data, right? I sit weird, that's data. You're sitting left leg drop, right leg up. Your hips are doing this right now. If you sit there for, let's say, 20 minutes and I ask you to stand up, what are you going to do? You're probably going to be like this for a minute as your body kind of comes out of it. But if you don't, or maybe you stand up and go sit down in the car right away and you don't get enough time to stretch and move, your body has learned that. And so it's realistically all of the data inputs that your body is taking in every day, every hour, every moment gets built up and stored in fascia. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if we don't basically let it out some way, somehow, it can then start to change how your body moves. Right? Did that answer your question?
I think so.
Do you have more on it? I just want to make sure we're clear. We have plenty of time here today. I want to make sure, like, if there was more confusion on it, I want to make sure we understand it.
So the nervous system senses all different things in
Yeah.
there, and it affects the fascia.
Yes.
Does it affect other, like the hormones? Or,
Absolutely.
and lots of other things.
Absolutely. Everything. So it's kind of like, while the fascia integrates into the nervous system is running the ship. The nervous system is in charge of, well, partially in charge of your hormones, digestion, your movement mechanics, your emotional state. So the nervous system is superseding everything and the fascial tissue integrates. Does that make sense? So if we can tap into the nervous system, we can change fascial tissue. There's different ways to come at this. Someone might say gut health, fasting
Yeah.
is a way to tap in technically to the nervous system. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you probably know this, but what's interesting about fascia is they're realizing, they're discovering rather, there's a lot of nervous, like nociceptors in the fascia,
Yep,
pain receptors.
yep,
A lot of nervous system integration, as you mentioned. So the fascia is like not only kind of tissue, it also is a information transport system, as well as a nutrient transport system.
he had said that fascia is also an information transport system, which I think is really important to say. Continue, I was just repeating that.
Yeah, just as far as like transporting signals from the nerves from across the body, it's kind of how we can communicate from our foot to our brain or whatever. There's a lot of nervous system stuff going on, vagus nerve, phrenic nerve.
Yep,
But as far as the nociception, which is the body's mechanoreceptor of pain, it's how it measures pain. Fascia has a lot of nociceptors in it, so that they actually think that a lot of times with injuries, it's less the muscle and more the fascia sending these signals of pain,
Yep.
which can disrupt. I mean, it's a long conversation, but fascia can constrict in certain areas, which can constrict posture. Posture can create a disruption of hormonal cascade. I mean, if you have postural imbalances in like your neck, your forehead, head posture, your thyroid's can be affected. There's all this stuff kind of melts together.
it's a cascading
It's a
effect.
cascade, exactly.
Dominoes that fall.
Yeah, that's
Right.
yeah.
And it's, if you build it back, it's the nervous system. It has just a blanketed statement. And then from there, it's almost like, I'll go back to your car. The car dealership has different cars on the lot. Fascia is one of the brands of cars, but it integrates into everything. Almost like, what could I say? It's almost, fascia would be like the bodies of the cars on the lot. Doesn't matter if it's an F-150 or a Volvo, right? Go ahead.
Well, and that brings to mind why things like meditation or like hypnotherapy can be so healing, because it affects the nervous system. And people will say they like injuries they've had for years, they start, doing some relaxation every day and it gets better. So
And what happens if I don't believe in hypnotherapy? Now what happens?
But it doesn't matter, because if you're spending time relaxing, it affects your nervous system, right?
I was going somewhere with this. If I don't believe in the meditation practice or the breath work, I'm shut off. My nervous system is shut off and it won't accept.
Oh.
Does that make sense? So she's 100% right. But if your brain isn't behind what you're doing, if your nervous system isn't accepting the input, right? That's why, like, when you get massages, they tell you to relax, to accept it. If you're like this the whole time, it doesn't matter if you're getting body work done, right? Breath work is the same way. It's all about how you're interpreting the data, right? The inputs. Make sense? It's a great question.
So you're saying the power of the mind rules all.
Everything. Absolutely everything.
If you're here for the talk, my presentation is almost exactly about all this actually. So I'll answer some of these questions in the talk later too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the mind rules.
So when we think about, now we're gonna move a little bit. Now we're gonna move a little bit. And so when we think about starting to kind of integrate a system into play, we think 3 adaptations. And this is, I try and boil it all down, because as you started to go off the deep end, it gets real deep real quick.
Yeah,
And we can't accept that. The average person doesn't care, doesn't want it. They just want to be fixed, moving, and feeling good. That's it. We geek out on the behind the scenes stuff, and that's for us.
Yeah.
If I boil this back, we need to think about tissue release, we need to mobilize the joint, and we need to turn on the systems around it. Okay, and that is it. It doesn't matter how, and I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways through a bunch of different joints, and give you basically a shotgun spray of all sorts of different stuff that maybe you take 1 or 2 with you, and you integrate that. That's it. If you did them all 5-ish to 10 minutes a day, I would bet my bottom dollar that it would fix most of your pain problems. Barring you broke a rib and the rib is offset, but there's more to that, Questions here? Do we understand this concept? And I actually should. I don't want to hop off, but I should say to anybody on do you have
Awesome.
any
Yeah,
questions?
Projector for the presentation.
No, Josh's.
No, I was just wondering if anyone else is going to be doing it. Because I mean, I'm
Where's
gonna
the
have like a little thing
There
on
it
each for
is.
the diagram, but it would also be easy if I just plug in my computer. I just don't know. But what I was thinking is it might be.
Does anyone in the room put into the chat if you have any questions for me?
Space. People sit with that.
Well, this is just connected to my laptop. They have a projector up here.
Ah, right, that's what I kind of meant, well, okay, so, but can we use that as well, or just only the
Where's the
projection?
chat? There we go.
Use that. I'm just wondering if I can use a device, computer to have.
All right.
the screen.
No questions?
Should be able to
Yeah.
plug it in.
Yeah, but I can't unplug
Alright.
this because the Zoom stream is on here, but you can send me your slides. You can like
Oh,
email me
okay.
your slides.
It's just one static image, so it's super
Okay.
simple.
You can send me that and we can run it
Yeah.
off the laptop. Can I help? What's going on?
I was just checking to see if there was any questions. I just didn't want them sitting in silence. I want to go back to the presentation. I don't see it on the bottom.
Okay, do you guys have any questions?
No, they said no.
They said no, okay, okay.
Where's the presentation?
Can you guys hear okay? Can everybody hear okay?
Yeah.
They can, okay.
We're figuring it out. This is the first time we're doing it. We're here as a team. And then I want to bring the presentation back up. Where is it?
Okay,
Would you run it through Pages? No. I
it
don't, I
was
don't.
through Google, I think it was through. Maybe here.
Oh, there you
somewhere.
go. Me and my tech
Is this still
savvy.
shared or is it, no, the sharing's not happening right now. I think we took it off of share, so let's go share.
Cool.
Okay,
We're working through it.
yeah. Okay,
Honestly, it's
share.
it's always a fun rigmarole to try and get these
Okay.
things to run smoothly. Makes you appreciate when you show up to something and it's just like, you see it, right? We've got a team. Actually, what you can do, leave that up. Did it show? Yeah, okay, because I can open that, I think, then. Checking.
No.
Back.
I need to be back on here. Oops, okay,
Nope, don't touch.
okay.
Perfect. Okay. Going to what you had said, I knew this was coming, but I didn't want to push the question. This is your muscles in a very rudimentary sense. Fascia is this spider webby stuff. It's this white material located around every sort of bundle, every sort of spindle, and every sort of fiber. This is the actual design of the spaghetti string that is your muscle, right? And it's layered bundle by bundle, right? And when we think about fascia, people can't even conceptualize how integrated this system is to the body and how many organs it touches, and like it's almost unfathomable. And I think I put it in a different presentation. There's an amazing picture of an autopsy where they're peeling back this tissue, and it is literally like a spider web of just this white viscous material. If you've ever cleaned a chicken, for those online, if you've ever cleaned a chicken, it's the white skin that you start to scrape off the top. I don't know if anyone's ever even been like, huh, what is that? It's fascial tissue, interestingly enough. And so when we think about fascia, a couple of big pillar points. Restricted fascia creates joint compression and nerve impingements. And so that's what he was talking about with, as it binds down, as it constricts, we now start to see a lack of that joint mobility. When we see adhesions, they develop from repetitive stress or poor movement patterns. Okay? Fascia creates compensatory patterns throughout the whole body. And so that means as you're moving, right, you're creating compensations for the restricted patterns. And so it's an equation, it's a balancing act. If my leg bows in, I have to shoot my hip out, right? And that's where you start to see people moving very weird, because the body is a master compensator. It is better than you could ever be, right? It will get you from point A to point B. You see this a lot in like athletes, right? They're able to go well beyond what the joint mechanism can do because their eyes see something and they just forcibly do it, right? Pain aside and all of that. And if we start to understand that most likely we have, myself included, these compensatory patterns, if we understand that and say, okay, I want to get back to something better, we now ask, what is the something? Right? And that's that anatomical neutral position. If you've ever seen it in textbooks, palms are open, standing up nice and tall. If you've ever seen the grids where you're like in a doctor's office or a chiropractor's office, they might have a grid that you stand behind and you have to line up, and it's looking for these compensatory patterns or imperfections. We're going to do some tests today. I'm going to have some fun with y'all on the ground and see if we can see any before we start doing some of these techniques. But do we understand the equation concept? The restrictions create compensatory patterns. Yes, cool. As we go through our release techniques, we're going to talk about 3 big release techniques. There are so many great ones. I'm choosing 3. I didn't know what kind of group I was walking into. I knew very little about injury profiles, age demographics. So this is, if I close my eyes and threw this at an unknown person, I am confident and comfortable that you could do any or all of these and see success tomorrow, right? For those online who I don't get to see, same thing goes to you. So let's, you're probably gonna pick on you because I know you've had some injuries. Let's come over into the center.
Yeah.
And and yeah, you keep the wall to the side. Just to get a better look. Let's see.
Don't make me try to touch my toes, that's really ugly.
Let's see if that works. Boss, you wanna come over here and make sure that computer doesn't fall? I'm assuming you can lay down on your back. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. He's gonna lay out nice and straight, feet are nice and straight. If anything hurts, obviously don't do it. Good, and just let your arms fall. Good. This is the simplest way to start to see compensatory movements or any sort of restriction. The feet falling out is an alignment or restriction conversation, right? We talk about, sometimes you'll see people with shoulder problems, myself, that's a big one, that will see one side falling versus the other. I see right a little bit off the ground here, and all I'm looking for is natural, quote unquote, the fall of the joint, so to speak. We'll go through walking and movement patterns here in a second, but I usually will leave a client, I do a whole roll test from here. But I leave a client sitting in this position for a little while because it does get uncomfortable. He'll lay down and try and be perfect right out the gate. Now we're gonna start seeing he's ruching a little bit. Does his back start to hurt? Does one foot turn out more than the other? So we're looking at left versus right here. And I don't know his injuries. I like we spoke briefly in the beginning, but we need to think about what the picture in front of us is saying, not what he's telling me, because he's always going to tell me what he wants me to hear. I want to see what the body wants to say, right? I'm going to look. Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing. Go ahead.
I'm going to look at rib cage alignment here. Is one side dipping versus the other? For someone like Vasi, who maybe did break a rib, that's huge. Her breathing mechanics, her intercostals, all of that are going to be off because of how she had to recover. It's not her fault. It's just a incompetency. Now, does anything hurt while you're laying here like this?
That L5S1,
Did it start right away or did it sink into it?
it's starting to develop as that gap or the
Yeah.
natural, what I consider the natural curve spine not being supported. So if I start to drop it,
Correct.
then I can get.
So he's going into excessive extension is what that would be called. You can put your arms down, bend your knees, you can come out of that and relax. I don't want pain to cause today. So you can come on out. We'll have one more person, Bossy. I would love if you come up and be our demo. Thank you, Willie.
Oh, yeah.
You say, take him out.
Oh, that's fine. I just feel it's a little dirty, so I don't want to.
Take it. Good. Just a different body, same sauce. Don't worry, Sammy, you're gonna get in soon on something different.
Yeah.
Good. Now, don't move.
Shoulder.
Uh-huh.
Shoulder.
That hurts.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you out of it real quick, but we can see that, right? We see her left arm popping up, right arm as well. Good, you can bring your arms down. You can just put them on your chest. I don't want to work. Either way.
Yeah.
Good. I don't want to obviously cause her any pain. Again, we're looking at turnout. Now, a big one that I'm looking for in incompetencies is going to be her foot here. I'm looking at kind of the arch. She has a tighter plantar underneath her arch here, which in turn causing that toe up. Do you have any foot problems?
No, I know if I did twist my ankle, like
Mhm.
a week and a half ago.
Interesting, huh? It's amazing that the more we spend time looking at the body, the more it starts to tell our story. You said you're just getting into coaching?
Yeah, more or less. I'm studying still, and I just kind of put myself out there about 6 months ago.
Congratulations. That's amazing. So, and you're just starting to get underway, just to be clear.
Yeah, it's that point of transition from like the jobs that pay money to the jobs that don't.
I love it.
Build it up, right? So it's a weird point, but yeah.
When I'm going these next lectures, it's to teach coaches. That's the other side, right? It's coaching the coaches. And something to think about, right? Everything is so fascinating. There's different schools of thought I'm a big proponent that everything starts from the ground up. Feet lead the way. If the feet are off, the knees are off. The knees are off, the hips are off, the hips are off, the spine's off. That being said, I believe that all fascial tension, this goes against your Eastern medicine practice. They believe fascial lines and tension starts at the body. When I say fascial lines, that means the interconnected system of tissue, right? Shake my hand. What one muscle group do you think you used? You used a lot to just do that, right? Did you use your feet? Absolutely. Did you use your hips? Could you push to turn? Yeah, absolutely. Give me a high five. What one thing did he use? Well, the kicker is, if we look at integrated systems in the body, all of them are getting used all the time. So this old school thought of bodybuilding that I'm going to stand there and bicep curl, what kind of training is that? And so for you as a coach, thinking integrated systems, unless you have a sport-specific athlete that needs to develop hip power through one plane of motion, it's crazy. We need to train the system. Bossie's falling asleep on the ground. And so when we look at the body, I'm going to have Bossie do this because well, maybe not because of your shoulder. I don't want to piss your shoulder off. Matt, I'm going to sub you out. I'm going to have you do a movement. Pop up, Bossie. Great job. I would clap, but it's just the four of us. So how about this?
I'll give it to you.
Matt, come lay down on the ground. So this is the last kind of piece to this little assessment I wanted to do here. This is yours really for what we're going to do. Matt's going to lay on the ground for me. And this is great for all of you to do at home. This is fantastic. I'm hoping that you can see this. I didn't want the computer like looking so far down at the ground. Matt, arms up. If anything hurts, obviously I don't want anyone to get hurt. This is actually part of my movement assessment. This is great for you to do with your clients as well. This is going to test trunk.
Pages of movement systems, but yeah.
For those, he just said a great one. He has pages of movement assessment. As a coach, as a therapist, we have to make a stand for what we believe in and what we don't. I coach the primal movements: squat, lunge, hinge, walk, run, push, pull, roll.
Are you check trained?
Check?
Yeah.
No, why? What is check?
That's Paul Check. He kind of coined that primal pattern. I mean, back in the '90s, but that's the
Okay.
that I use.
I am not check trained, but I am very familiar with Paul Check. Sorry, I didn't know what you meant.
No, it's all good. All good, man. No worries.
I'll always, again, this is the very end of my assessment. I'm always looking at how's his alignment. Are we turning out? Where are we? Good. Now, what I'm going to ask him to do, and you don't have to move, Vasi, I'm going to ask him to roll on his belly. Back up. No. He's going to start on the right foot. He's going to roll towards Vasi. No. Hold on. I want you to just reach. Reach to Vasi with your right foot. Now finish with right hand roll all the way onto your belly. Good. Arms stay above your head, please. Those different patterns are things that he's learned. He will do them through natural movement. Now he's going to start at left foot, roll towards Vasi. Stay as tall as you can. Long, reach. Good. You see how to not start to twist through his mid-spine. He's reaching with that glute back leg. Now, naturally with a client or with a person, I wouldn't say it out loud because he's going to change his pattern with my audible cue. Pull your legs together and just straighten out. Now, left leg comes towards me. Finish with left hand, reach. Wow. Finish with left hand. Left hand stays back and over. Yes, I'm looking for a twist. I'm looking to see what his trunk does through rotation. Okay, roll towards me.
It's in my pockets.
You got that cell phone. Roll all the way to belly. Good job. Right foot all the way over to me. Reach. Can he for that one? Back.
You just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I'm just like moving limb, whatever limb you say.
No. Lay face down. Hands above the head.
No.
I'm watching here, and it's not. I understand it's might be confusing. I don't give commands on purpose because I want his body to do what it wants to do, not what I'm. Like there's a specific way to do this, but it shows me things that are turned off. Just like when you walk, right? I'm looking for these incompetencies in movement patterns. So right leg towards me, swing across in the back. Better, very good. Now, legs out nice and straight. Starting with hands above the head, right hand, starting with right hand, hands above the head, both hands. So we're doing the same exact drill, I just start with your hands. Hands above the head, right hand reaches across, roll, go. Good. Left hand up and across. Good. You hear that little pop go? Good. And round. Good. Back to me. Left hand starts. Good. Right hand starts. See how that right foot doesn't want to come across. When you hurt yourself, you told me you had something happen. What was the injury?
I had a lot. I mean, as far as the chronic pain, there wasn't any like definitive action. I had fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, myopathic pain, all these, nonsense.
Okay, so there was no traumatic
I don't
injury.
mean nonsense, they're real things, but I mean, that's more of that later. I'm kind of vague,
You can grab your stuff. Okay, that was one example of movement incompetencies or pattern. And so what I do when I teach, or not even teach, when I just work someone through our assessment warm up into it, it's looking at those patterns and then how do we counter it. Sammy, center of the room, big guy. You comfortable doing a little movement? You're not getting down on the ground. You're not getting down on the ground, I promise. You're not even.
I don't mind.
Cool. Show me the best squat you can do. Turn the face out. Yep, there you go. Just set your feet, show me the best. Great. And up. I don't want any pain. Stand them up. Give me like 10 of those. This is another example. If you're at home thinking about this, I'm doing this before we get into solutions because realistically, I want you to think about your own body, your own incompetencies. What does your spine do? Are you kyphotic? You lean forward. Do your feet turn out? Right? Do they stay straight? Good. One more, Sammy, and you're done. Come in. Thank you, buddy. Good. What does your lower back do? Does anything hurt? Because these questions through movement patterns are going to answer what you need to start to work on. Okay? There are more to be had. Good. You can go back to your mat. Thank you. I just wanted to show movement. You actually have a really good squat, man. How old are you?
79.
You have a great squat. You move really well. Good on you. Do you train often?
No, I do yoga.
Okay. Well, I'm just from lower body mechanics are really sound. Great job. That's awesome. I have some 78-year-olds who can barely get up and down, like can barely go down to the ground. So congratulations. Like I want to move like that one day. Good job.
Very well.
But okay, time for you to actually do anything. Do we need a break? Bathroom? Anything of the sort? No? Yes?
Fine.
Cool.
No.
All right, we're gonna start. Yeah.
No, did you notice that I had injured my right knee?
I was watching the feed. I did not see it in a couple of moments. Tell me about it.
Well, I was playing pickleball the other day, and I was going back like that, and I fell and hit my sit bone or one of those bones there, and it messed up my whole side and everything. But actually, the knee was a slightly different issue. But anyway, I did mess up all.
Yeah.
all
Any snap, crackle, or pop, or everything?
No.
Good? Okay, good.
No.
You're lucky.
Okay,
On your back on the ground, all of you. For those at home,
sir. Yes, sir.
for those that, thank you, Sammy. That's how I expect everyone. Vasi? Come on. For those at home, we're using lacrosse balls. And you got to okay. I'm going with our middle piece, middle section square to the presentation here, because I believe these are the most potent, most powerful things you can use. I am a firm believer of lacrosse balls. This is going to get, you can let your head back, you don't need to actually like eyes on me, lay back. Why don't we review?
Let's get a bunch of stuff in there. What?
Okay. Good. Go ahead, put your head back down. Sammy's got a little bit of what's called kyphosis in his neck. His cervical spine is a little bit curved forward, so I put a pillow up under there. If you're laying on the ground at home and you need a little bit of extra help through your upper neck, a pillow is okay for this. Bend your knees like you're going to do a sit-up. Bend your knees like you're going to do a sit-up. Good. First position, I am teaching you 4 with the lacrosse ball today. We are going after the hips. And remember, when I was laying on the ground there with, I think it was Matt. Eastern medicine talks fascial lines start at the feet, go up through the head. They believe that the tension starts at the feet. I believe the hips are the secret key. All fascial lines at some level run through or around the hips. And we, especially in the Western world, abuse the hips when it comes to how we sit, how we sleep, how we walk, how we work out, all of it. And so I want to go after that first and foremost. So we're going to go after the glute. And if you've ever seen Sports Illustrated swimsuit, If you've ever seen, maybe a GQ male underwear shoot, when you think of the perfect butt, the absolute most perfect butt, I want you to think about putting the ball right into that dimple. So Sammy, grab your ball. Yep. It's right here on the ground. Yep. Put it right into the dimple of your butt, right here. Yep. Yep. Bossy, right there. Good. Now, both feet like a sit-up. The side you on. Good. And now let that leg fall. Nope. Nope. Open. Open.
Oh, that one.
If it hurts, you're doing it right. Yep. And then I like to do a bent knee there. Personally, when I do this, it relaxes the tissue. So we want to think about digging that tissue in. This is like a self-massage at home. Some of you may have more tender spots than others, and that's okay. There is no right or wrong with this. There is no perfect day. Sometimes it may be more tender than others. Stay on one side for now because I'm going to do about a minute a piece. I'm going to walk you through my sequence. Yeah, run it.
Would a tennis ball work or is it?
Tennis ball would work very well. Tennis balls are going to be much softer. For the beginner, maybe some of you have very, very tender cheeks. You might need to use a tennis ball. The lacrosse ball is an upgrade. I like the lacrosse ball because of the rubber. It doesn't slide around on the ground and it is hard. It gives feedback. Where soft tennis balls on the ground sometimes are too squishy. You won't get enough push. I will say in doing lacrosse ball work, when we start to tap into this, we want pain to be a guide. It is not a bad thing, but if you hit bone, it's going to be sharp shooting pain. Sharp shooting pain. You will know. Don't go there. We never put the ball on bone. We do this for about a minute. Technically, the textbooks would say 90 seconds to 2 minutes. I like to do it about a minute because let's face it, I'm working people out as well. Now, from this position, we're going to creep the ball up 2 inches. Creep the ball up 2 inches. We're going to creep the ball up 2 inches. Sammy, how's that feel?
A little harder.
A little harder, a little more tender?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to flirt with that line, just like that. Good. This is called the piriformis. This is the #1 cause of back pain in America. The piriformis starts at the SI joint, which is this little joint here in the back, wraps around to the front side of the hip. Its job is external rotation of the leg. When we do that, when we externally rotate, we had 3 people lay on the ground. All 3 of you were laying duck-footed. This muscle is shortening. When we're sitting in seats and things like that, we're always looking to relax this. I can tell you right now for you, this is probably brutal and it's the biggest bang for your buck in terms of when you go home, if you did this every day, bet you money it'll release a lot of what's going on in there. Most of my people, this is the problem. This also gives a false signal for sciatica. There is something called piriformis syndrome, which is very common. The piriformis, this muscle, is one of the few muscles that actually has the nerve root running directly through the muscle body. When this gets real tight, that muscle body pinches down on the sciatic nerve, and bang, it causes sciatica down the leg. And it is often misdiagnosed by doctors because there's no way for you to really get an MRI, X-ray of the tissue pinching because you usually need to be active, right? And so what will happen is, you'll go to the doctor, I'm getting sciatica, they take an MRI of your spine. Of course, you've got degenerative disc disease. How many people have heard that? This pisses me off. You're getting me on a soapbox.
Many
You have degenerative disc disease. No shit. No shit. You have gravity. Gravity's a bitch. You lose, starting at age 30, every decade, and it depends on body weight, mobility, and all sorts of things, a specific amount of vertebral disc juice over time. I'm sorry to say it, Sammy, you probably have degenerative disc disease at 78 years old.
Oh my God.
We all do at some point. Most spinal problems are undiagnosed. We all have things going on under there. You just may not have had it talked to you yet. But the assumption should be past 30 years old, you got something going on under the hood. And we just need to assume that you have tension problems, movement incompetencies, and like strength imbalances. So my job is to come in and beat you like chess at your own game and say, all right, let's lock in. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to roll to the side now. It's even going TFL. So we're going to go right next to our pocket. right next to our pocket and roll like you're cuddling in bed. Matt knows what he's doing. He was right on his bone there. Yep, Sammy, come on towards me, big cat. Yep, and this might be super tender. And if that's all you got, that's all you got, Bubba.
Okay.
Good. How you doing over there, Willie?
Doing well.
Good. Voss?
Tender.
Tender. Now, Vossi is a big fan of breath work. This is phenomenal to pair with some of your breath work action or a meditation practice if you can focus enough. And then Vossi's, be very careful your head on the camera stand. Breathing through it. The TFL, the side muscle here, is controlling all lateral stabilization of the leg. This is important for you to know, Matt, when we start to train people, when we talk movement and competencies, when we're moving laterally.
Right.
The IT band, we shouldn't release the IT band. It is this truck tire material that is meant to be taut, because every time I step to my side, it's meant to stabilize. But the kicker is the control center, the mothership, is the TFL. So a lot of runners, or my volleyball players in the room, Sammy, I know you play a little recreational volleyball, it's the thing that gets really angry because it's trying to keep your hips, which are probably unstable, from going left and right. And so these signs or movement incompetencies that we see, like if you've got achy sides of the legs, I bet you this feels really good to release. In turn, it tells me a story about what's happening in your hips and lower back, right? And so if this is super tender, super tight, my lower back is probably a little unstable, that these are working really, really hard to lock down. You see? Stable, mobile, it kind of all builds.
Tender.
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 Tender for you?
That's getting better.
It looks tender for you.
Yeah.
You're a coach.
Left side will probably be loved.
You're a coach who does this stuff.
I'm very familiar with all this, but I'm loving it.
No, I know. So the reason I say that, you can't see it on you can't see it on.
It though, right? I know when it's too much.
No. You can always tell a coach when they do it very often, how they move, how they go through it. Matt was on it before I even said where to put the ball, right? So he knows the secret sauce before the sauce. Good. You have a question?
Well,
No? Okay. We're gonna flip sides. Starting cheek, left side. If some of you get out of breath, some of you might get sweaty. You might actually get a little built up. That is your nervous system. So if you start to feel things, I've had people cry. I've had people laugh hysterically. I have a guy who itches himself really heavily when I'm on the table with him. And so I do a lot of this stuff manually. Bend. Good. Bend. Let it fall. Good. Down. I do a lot of this stuff manually, right? And because there is something to being tactile, of course, I can create more pressure. You're more passive on my table, things like that. That being said, the reactions that you have as you're going through this dictate or tell a story about what's happening internally. Good.
I'm finding the slow breathing helps.
Love that. Good. What side's worse for you, left or right?
well, so far it's the right.
Right? Cool. And we take it for what it is. There's no wrong in that. It just is. Right? Tomorrow you might wake up and let's say you had a really hard night's sleep on the couch for some reason and you were sleeping more on your left side on the couch. You could be super angry on the left. We let the body tell the story that day. And with it, it allows the movement incompetencies to kind of be amoebas. Some days you're going to have a little bit of a left limp. Some days your right shoulders drop. You have a knot up in your upper trap rhomboid. I don't know. But we kind of just assume that there's incompetencies, that we assume that we need to work the fascial tissue, and we begin here. This is just a jumping off point. Let's creep up 2 inches, going to the piriformis on the left side. Now, something really fascinating. Who here is right-legged? You kick a soccer ball with your right leg. Right, yeah. Most of the populace is, and I bet everyone in the room, I would bet money, is right-handed.
Left-handed.
Ooh, he's a freak. Hold on.
Split-handed. I do a lot with my right hand, and I draw on right and left.
Okay.
So we're
Bossy right-handed? Most people are right. And the reasoning is it comes down to spinal tensions, spinal torsions. And so my hips, with the right-legged conversation, it would be my left leg is my stable leg. If I wanted to balance, my right leg is my kicking leg. It's the mobile hip versus stable hip. And with that, we go up chain, which means the spine has to twist. It's why we can move so uniquely compared to other animals. With that, my left hip, my hip rotates left, my lumbar spine rotates right, my thoracic spine rotates left, my cervical spine rotates right. My eyes are square. Makes sense. It's also why when most people have herniations, right? If my hip is left, my spine is right, where is the open gap naturally coming in the spine when I go to bend over? Out left. Most people injure themselves with a left herniation. Not all, but most. It's usually the first one to go because naturally I'm twisting in that direction. Right? You will also find the reason I said all this is you will find is the left worse than the right, or is the right still bad? Right's the worst one for you.
Yes, so
Cool.
far.
You'll find that most people have left side tightness problems. That's the one that's really a pain in the butt, pun intended. The right one is not. It just depends. You might have injury profiles that are unique. Respect. Let's creep up to TFL. So we're on the side of the hip. We're almost done. Almost done with the hip release. Talk to me.
I'm
Yep,
not sure.
right on. It's okay. Right on the pocket. So we're going right on the side of the pocket here. Good. And now roll towards me like you're gonna cuddle. That's good. I highly, highly recommend this is an everyday thing. If you work with me in person, I can guarantee you do this every day to start our session. The only people who do not are usually people that I either have gotten through major issues or I'm doing another form of mobility in the day. Because let's face it, there are other things to fix as well. This is targeted right now specifically at your hips. And then I'm going to do lower back here in a moment. Good. How are we feeling? Good? Good?
Yeah, almost a spasm.
On left side versus right.
Left.
Willie had a spasm left versus right.
We should let it back off, right?
Depends. If you can control it. I would push through. My first thing, when you feel it tweaking, when you feel it twitching, basically, rewind. We use techniques to do what's called impedance. Like an electrical signal, like a light switch, it needs to turn on and off. Every time that I move my body, there is an electrical signal that is sent. Turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off. When we have a spasm, that is the electrical signal being stuck in on. That's it. You can use table work, chiropractic, breathing, cold, hot, acupuncture, dry needling, just massage. You can use any sort of tool to turn the light switch off, and that's called impedance. I just find that the ball is the easiest for people to do most readily. Obviously, there are other techniques that do work, and it is very much how you believe in the technique. It's about 92% of all manual therapy. It doesn't matter what it is. Chiropractics, table work, body work, it doesn't matter what it is. The data, the evidence in terms of actual application to the body showcases that the results are based on the practitioner's belief in the system, not the body, not you. So if, doesn't matter, chiropractics, acupuncture, whatever you believe in, do it. That's the thing that will work. I just believe in the lacrosse ball because I see so many people who can't even get off their butt to go to acupuncture, let alone spend 5 minutes on a lacrosse ball, right? But last but not, yep, run it.
So you're saying that the most important part of healing is the practitioner's belief in it?
Why do you think that is? Sammy just reiterated what I had said. The most important thing to healing is the practitioner's belief in it. Now, why would that be the case? Think it through. Run it, Sammy. What do you got?
Well, it would be the practitioner would probably do a really good job with it.
And then that would mean what?
Better results.
Yes, but why?
Why? Well, I guess the confidence of the
Excellent job, Sammy. Listen to the sound of my voice in talking with you about this, right? I'm speaking from a place of knowledge. I know what I'm talking about. I'm confident that I can fix you. And so what do you believe when you're laying on the ground now? I'm going to be fixed. This is going to work. And so now we talked about data inputs. The nervous system's regulating everything. And if I can get you to believe that you are not going to be in pain, you pretty much won't be in pain. My job is to take that from you, and however I can communicate it to you. When it comes to back pain, there's a study, it's about 65 to 70% of back pain is psychosomatic. It is not symptomatic. Does it make sense? It's in your head. If I can get that out of your head as quickly as I can, you heal and move substantially better, right? We're gonna do our lower back, and then I'm gonna give us a rest for 2 seconds. Lower back, so lay on your back, slide your pillow. Good. So lower back, we're gonna go after what's called the QL here.
In the center.
Hey, I did put it in there. I forgot about that. Good. The QL is going to be off to the side. You do not put the ball on the spine. If you're doing this at home, you do not put the ball on the spine. And I want this on one side or the other. Lay with your hips square. Good. One side or the other. Legs are going to go out nice and straight for me. Legs are going to go both legs out straight. No rolling around. Both legs out straight.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I want you to hug the knee this side the ball is on. Like both hands. Yep. Now I want you to tilt slightly, both hands. Good. There you go. Good. I will say for you, if you ever do any sort of releases and whatnot, you have a tendency to want to wiggle around on it all. You're creating the same thought process and incompetencies as you're doing all these different angles. Does it make sense?
I mean, I'm just trying to find the trigger point. I do a lot of releases pretty much like all the time. I'm super. I don't really have much tension in my body.
I was
So
just
yeah.
I
I
was
just get the right side as well.
correct. Good. How's that feeling then?
Like I'm playing with inhibition facilitation patterns is what I'm trying, and agonists.
Correct.
Well, that's just a critical one for me. Am I in the right
Yep.
spot? Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Sammy, how you doing? Good?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the QL. And for those looking on this at home on the screen, this is going to be kind of the support structure here for the side of the body. This is like, I call them the tree trunk. You actually can't see it. It's layered underneath. This is one of the deep stabilizers to the spine. It's under the lat. And it runs basically from like L3, L4 down, maybe L2, L3 down, and it runs across the top of the hip here. And what its job is stabilization, rotation. And so it's helping you move through all these angles. This is abused because stable, mobile. When the hip locks down, the hip is locking in, you're tight, you're sitting like a goober, you sleep weird, all these things. Something's got to give because you got to bend over to pet your dog. Something's got to give because you need to bend over to pick up the groceries. And what happens is this muscle is like, all right, body, I'm going to do what I can for you. Bend, and it starts to pull. Well, what you end up seeing is the people who are like, oh, I threw out my back. This is the thing that they threw out, but it's not hurt. It's screaming at you that it's overworked and overused and just like, dude, stop. And what it does when you quote unquote throw out your back is it goes, and it locks in and it goes, knock it off. I'm not doing it anymore because the body is smart. There's a series of checks and balances. And as we go up to severity, it's locking down because it's like, if you keep asking me this, something worse is going to happen. And what do? We ignore it. We keep going. We ignore it. We keep going. And then eventually we slip a disc. That's the last, that's when the jelly donut now is the thing in between your spine, that little soft, squishy stuff. I call it a jelly donut because it looks like it. That's when it goes, because the hips have locked down, the QL, the lumbar spine, the QL, the erectors in the spine here have locked down. They can't give no more. And you bend over to pet your dog one more time. Bang. You get out of bed the wrong way and it can't give anymore. Bang. Let's switch sides. I usually give this one a little bit longer because this is very, very tender for almost every person I meet. Let's go back.
That's not tender.
Not super,
Not
no.
super.
I have one of those mounted foam rollers that everyone hates, I love them, though, they dig into your.
I have one of those all the time.
Yeah, I love that, I love deep tissue, like, a lot of times I go to massage, and like, hug this, press hard.
Yeah.
I'm probably as hard as I can.
No, I understand, my virus reacts well to that also.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's transportation, you know, it's like.
Okay, so super awesome thing just happened to Sammy. He just got a cramp down the inside of his leg. And there's a very interesting muscle group. Remember, we're talking stable, mobile, stable, mobile. If your hips are in overdrive trying to stabilize, I don't know how you walk. He just talked about he got hurt at pickleball. There's muscles that connect the lower lumbar. They run up and over the spine and down on the inside of the legs. And so as he's coming up to try and create his tension, all of a sudden they spasm, right? And so what that is showing me is there's something, and I don't have the right answer right now, there's something in that chain that is locking down. This is what you needed. And in turn, might be why you're having that knee pain problem. And there might have been an injury, I don't know. Maybe it started aching one day. I don't know the answers. Put it back in there, hug the knee, go back to it. What we do is if you do have a spasm moment, you respect the pain. You kind of settle down, then you go back into it with breath. You're doing it again?
Yeah.
Doing it again? It's right.
Wait.
Good. So what I'm gonna have you do, relax your leg. Relax your leg. Still cramping? Yeah. This way. Is it cramping if you just pick your leg up?
Yep.
Bend your leg, open.
Just gotta relax.
So you have work to do in there, right? So we went back through it. So he cramped. It happened a second time. We put it back in there. Didn't like it. I then picked his leg up without the ball underneath. Started to cramp again. So there's something going on in there. That could be a weakness problem. It could be something from an injury. I don't have a magic answer. I'm not going to diagnose and dissect it now. We just kind of accept it. What you can do in this situation, just bend your knees like a sit-up, like we were doing in the beginning. No cramping, right? Keep doing the drill underneath your lower back, because you do need to do this side. Just keep your feet like that. You shouldn't get the cramp now.
Is that the butter,
Put
Sammy?
that down there.
Yep. Just put, yep, right where we were practicing. Do it right there. Right there. How's that a little bit?
Is this the right spot, Matt?
Good.
Is this the right
Yeah.
spot?
Yeah,
Well, not
right,
going
back, like, kind of.
Let it be. No cramping.
Mhm. I mean, you should be tender, not, you know,
Mhm.
tendons.
Now, do you have one side was super painful, one side wasn't?
My left side was really painful.
What side did you hurt your rib?
I mean, it was kind of both, but maybe more on the left.
So that's the correlation I would draw. It's one side versus the other. Now, trigger point, the cross ball work. This can be done almost on every piece of tissue all over the body. I took a little bit of time today to cover multiple things with this. You would spend 60 to 90 seconds a pop on it, and you would hit multiple things, look up some videos, traps, neck for my girls, especially some ladies who are more well endowed. I see a lot of neck problems going on, that your upper neck and traps are overworked because a lot of the times you're being pulled forward by your breasts. Well, that's a problem. We need to think about fixing that. Yes, some of it is strengthening your posture, but other is releasing. Pec as well, but the lacrosse ball is phenomenal for things like that. We think about these incompetencies, listen to where your pain is and why. We need to do the homework to fix it. So, you guys on the ground can relax. I gave you on today the gluten piriformis ball rollout as well as QL release. Do any of us have neck problems? I know he's kyphotic. Yeah, I know. You do? Okay. Let's look. What time is it?
Oh.
That's pretty.
Huh?
10:30.
How do we start?
9.
It's 10:30 already? All right, so I'm not gonna do the neck release now. Oh my God, I talk too much. Y'all tell me to shut up, boss. You gotta be like, Josh, knock it off. What you would do with the
What I
ball
would get is you would put it right, have print out, you keep the stuff, so.
and you just do the exact same thing.
You're in the library.
Really, put it up in there.
Printer, your guys' system.
And just lay. Now the pillow might get in your way. The only rule is you just don't sit on the spine.
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
And you can just do this every day, every single day. That's it. And you just, like a bear scratching a tree. Now I'm just having Sammy do his knee, not his knee, his neck, putting it up in there, rolling around, if you've got neck issues going on, okay? I wanna just get into a little bit of, mobilization here to make sure we keep moving. So I'm gonna go a little faster. I'm realizing I'm talking too much, and it's a problem that I face. Questions on what we did so far?
No,
Go right.
I love it.
How do you feel? You good?
Yeah.
Cool. This is the diagram that I wanted in the beginning, with the mobile stable. And it kind of illustrates in a really, really good way the stacking effect that the body has. And it's always alternating. The only thing that this diagram is missing, and I couldn't find one, is the feet, which should be stable. And then as we go through this, just remember, right, as we're going through our mobility, we want to mobilize the mobile stuff and stabilize the stable stuff.
Thank you, Josh. I gotta go and get some stuff ready for the presentation.
Thanks for stopping in.
I appreciate it.
I'll see you then.
Yeah, thanks so much.
So we want to stabilize the stable stuff and mobilize the mobile stuff.
Alright, you gonna get the presentation or? Yeah, well,
For what?
Just contacting.
Oh, yeah.
We're good.
Are you not staying for the later stuff?
I will not do some.
Okay.
The next portion.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Anyways. The big kind of four that we want to see in terms of this mobilization is hips. And I separated joint and flexor. Flexor from mobilizing the front because it's its own enemy with the joint as a whole. Thoracic spine and ankle dorsiflexion. Thoracic spine in the center and ankle dorsiflexion is the ability for you to actually bend your ankle. And if we look up the system, the range of motion that the ankle can or cannot do directly impacts how much the hip and spine has to do. Does it make sense? So if I have really good mobile ankles and I'm very, very relaxed and stable through the bottom of the foot, my spine and hips don't have to do as much to survive, and vice versa. You see, I call it the old Jewish man walk. It happens in LA all the time. That you'll see guys walking around like this, right? And I bet you if you've had back pain, this is how you're going to walk. You're flexing your butt cheeks, you're doing the waddle, you're barely using your feet because you're trying to hold as still as you can to not have pain, right? But technically, we should be moving through everything, okay? So, and I will make sure Vasi shares this. I'm not going into the nitty gritty of each of these slides. It's more the very specifics because I figured anyone who shows up, we can email it to them, but it's actually giving you the drills based off of the actual line. Like I built it as a system that you can open this presentation and follow it through. I tried to have it as like a standalone package. Okay, so we're going to be doing some movement here. You can slide your balls off to the sides. Those at home, make sure you have a space open. If you're doing it at home, have a space open to you. If anything hurts, doesn't feel good, you don't feel confident with it, don't do it. It's as simple as that, right? Movement, mobility, all that good stuff should feel nice. And so each of you has a mat. Let's get Vasi. I'm going to have you come up to the side. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to have Willie come up. Sure. Stand on up for me. Get. Good. We're going to do the world's greatest as one of the first. Actually, let's do an opening hip car.
All right.
Good.
Still hurts.
You're still cramping.
I know.
Walk it off.
Every day.
Ooh. Well, yeah, I wasn't until I got up. Okay,
You okay?
no,
You walk. Go like literally walk down the hallway. Walk nice and slow.
And water, keep that moving too.
It is not bad that he is cramping. I cannot stress that enough. However, it needs to be listened to, and we need to approach that turnaround. So we face that way because you're on the other side. We need to approach it with a sense of what else is going on, and it's telling me a story, and we need to appropriately handle that moving forward. I personally think some of these stretches that we're going to start to do when we're looking at the adductor and the hip flexor are going to open that up. First things first, and I want you, Vasi, you as well. I just don't like kneeling on a hardwood floor. So if this is back here, so it's up to you. So we'll roll up the mat a little bit. That's fine. You do what you need to. We're going to kneel. So I want right leg down, left leg forward, just like this. We'll go after your crampy leg. Right leg down, left leg forward. First things first, sitting up tall though. I want the right glute. I want it to be nice and tight. Sam, you okay on your knee down there? Does that feel okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Cool. Now we're just sitting up nice and tall. And what I want to see when we're in this position is we're thinking about this line right here. Okay? Reach up with your right hand above your head for me, best of your ability. Vasi, don't hurt your shoulder. And we're going to be sitting in this position. Give me gentle rocks forward and backwards. I am not looking for you to drive that hip to the point where you release the glute. And you'll see a lot of, I see it especially in women, they're doing this big stretch forward into the hip. The problem is, you're not actually stretching the hip joint. Slide this for me. Up again. Good. And now think about sliding the hip. And back. That's it. Reach up. Reach.
So you push that
Yeah.
right glute through slightly.
Just slightly. You're not going to get much range of motion if you're doing it right.
I see.
If you release the glute, you could drive it really far forward. The problem is you've got nerves at the front of the hip that don't like that. The bone shifts forward when you do that and it gets pinchy, right? And so what I want to see is this just slight palpation. Now, we're going to double up here since we're on this knee. Sam, are you okay kneeling down there still?
Yeah.
I don't want your knees getting bothered. Now, relax the right glute, both hands on your left knee. Good. Now what I want you to do, tighten this shin angle in a little bit. Tighten it again. Now when you shift forward, don't worry about this hip.
Mhm.
I want your knee to cross over the second toe. Now we're getting some ankle mobility. So we're stacking them together. Good. Good, Sam. Whoa, I'm falling. Good. Slide this foot in just a little bit. Good. Think about that. Knee comes over this second toe. Yes, sir. Vasi has got great ankle mobility. I want to see that. I'm hoping this works, guys. We're winging it here. I want to see this second toe and this knee communicating. The heel stays on the ground, right? And what we're looking for is dorsiflexion. That's what this is. And this is you going through your walking gait. This is you squatting. Maybe you sit down on the toilet, a lunge, you're running. Good. Now, we could take it one step farther here. Is everyone good on their right knee or we got to take a break?
Doing well.
It's okay.
Oh, it's okay? Good. Now, give me 3 planes of motion with the same drill. Go over your pinky toe, over your second toe, and then inside your big toe. So now we're going to steer the car. 3 planes of motion, right? So over this, over the pinky toe, over the, good. And come forward as you do it. There's no rush. There's no speed that needs to be involved. If something feels sticky, I want you to just hang out there for a second. This is mobilization, and there's ways for us to make this more advanced when we put bands in there and things like that. But for now, for day 1, this is where you start. And I'm going to
So it's like
1,
left,
2,
right, and
3, baby. Yeah. And whatever order you want to do it, you do it. There's no right or wrong. Mobilization is movement. All I want is movement through the joint. Remember, ankle, hips, shoulders, thoracic spine, mobile. That's what we want. Good. Last but not least, I want us back in our locked up position. Lock that cheek up. Now I want us to see us start to lean back and to the right. Let's go, Mr. Yoga guy. Good. Back in. I'm sorry, I said to the right. I meant the left. Back into the left. Back into the left. Yep. Now we're looking for some of that thoracic spine and those intercostals to get involved. Yep. And we're leaning back as far as we can, keeping the cheek flexed as best we can. We don't want to see the hip relax because, again, it's going to shift that femur forward and in turn could potentially cause some problems.
So that glute's still engaged.
Go ahead. Relax your glute. Tell me how intense that stretch gets.
Yeah.
It's nothing. The minute we lock that hip down, we start to find success through the movement. Now, relax out of it. Relax out of it. If you need to stand up, by all means, stand up. Sam, did you get crampy at all or no?
No.
Good job. Let's stand up. Now give me just a quick walk.
Yeah.
Walking is the most important piece to mobilization because it teaches the nervous system how to start to adapt it to your movement. And so when I'm doing therapy with someone, it is movement, walk, movement, walk, movement, walk, right? And I don't care if you have to do 10,000 laps. Feel how your body feels after we just did that. Is something else sticky? is your shoulder hurting now because you just released your hip? Like you're like, oh, like, woo, right? That's telling us a story. Good. Let's get back to,
I can notice the right hip big time just through this area.
right?
Much more, just relaxed.
Good.
In movement.
Good. Left leg down, right leg forward. Again, for those at home, I use a big welder's foams I got in my Home Depot because they last forever, like foam pad. When I kneel with somebody, we're doing the best we can, rolled up yoga mats today. I just don't want to see knees on hard floor surfaces at home, tile, things like that. Absolutely not. Protect your knees. And now, yeah. If you want to slide forward, let's go up on this. Where do you not want to be on the squish there? Go on the slide forward. Now, first things first, we lock up that cheek. Lock up that cheek. We're sitting up nice and tall. Think about how it's communicating to you. Left hand is going to be above the head. Just good. Now, the myofascial, there's an actual myofascial manipulation practice called eldoas that I'll teach. And it's much more intense. I don't ever let people do them alone because it's very minutia based. But when we talk fascial lines, they're usually completed through the hands and the feet. And so I always say hold a pizza box, but this palm up external rotation position, you see how you start to struggle in your shoulder, Vasi, right? Because we're starting to integrate the fascial system, the line that's happening, and not just thinking one single target. This will intensify this, right? Good. Now, let's start to shift forward just a little bit, keeping the right cheek flexed. Good. And it's not just pushing your crotch, it's moving your whole body forward and backward. Good. The whole body. My man, Sammy's killing it today. Good.
Nice, Sammy.
Lock it out, eyes up. Now, Vasi has a nasty habit of burying her head on this left side. This is also the side she has her boo-boo shoulder. It's also the side that her hip was boo-booed on. And I would bet my bottom dollar that is the side that her rib probably was more banged up on. I don't know if the shoulders were from before or after. I don't know. But I'm just noticing the trends. And she's here. She's trying to do it. She's got restrictions. I didn't want to get into it, but we keep coming back to it. There's something called the law of tensegrity. It is the most important piece of law when it comes to fascial tissue, but it gets complex. The easiest way to think about it is in my t-shirt. If I pull on the bottom right corner, do you think it affects the top left corner? If I'm pulling down here, is that affected? Yep. If I pull over here, do you think this right t-shirt is affected? Yep. Their tension is everywhere. So when I'm pulling on one side, something else is happening somewhere else. And that's what we're seeing with all these different mobilities. Hands down, glutes relaxed. We're shifting just over second toe. Now, interestingly enough, Willie here is giving me some weird foot thing that's happening. Yeah, we got to make sure. Vasi's foot's turned out pretty hard, Sammy. Let's see it. Don't do me justice. Sammy's turned out too. This right foot for everybody's doing this weird turnout thing today.
So it should be straightforward.
Yes.
Okay.
Put your body in the right joint angle. Unless you have plating or some major injury. Now, Vasi was talking about a sprained ankle. She might be limited here with inflammation. Great. You only go to what you can in the right joint angle. We don't mobilize improper movement patterns because then I'm teaching improper movement patterns. Make sense? Shifting forward, shifting back. I like to do about 10 reps here. I didn't actually give rep counts or anything like that. The stretches, the myofascial pieces to this, I like it to be more flow and feel when it's the stretching and I'm feeling it out. You'll know when it's time to release. But for these, I like reps. Now we're going to go our three angles, 1, 2, 3. It's about a 45-degree angle, so like a 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I like that. Your foot turned out immediately.
Yeah.
You went in and that whole thing dropped.
Caught that.
That tells me you have that shows me that you have a right glute stabilization problem. So you probably struggle doing things off that right side versus left when you work out. I'd be interested to ask what your preference is when you're skiing. You probably
Right.
like pushing left more than right,
Yeah.
especially cross country where you're driving out and back. I've
Right.
trained a couple hockey players that we see things like this.
Okay.
Good. Most important thing when we're foot mobilizing, the foot stays flat, the foot stays gripped. Unless you're doing something where you're rolling over toes on purpose, right? We stay flat and on the ground. Good. Last but not least, right cheek flexed, left hand above the head. We're leaning back and to the right. Right? Right.
The left. No,
No, to the right.
to the right.
Pizza box.
Well,
This way. I had it. Wrong room.
left,
Yes,
yes.
you're right. Right.
Like we're looking at Vasi reversed. Good. Now, what are you doing with these hands? Look at your hand, look at his hand. This is a perfect example. Look, so tension lines matter. The fact that his hand can't make this long, straight, yeah, that intensifies,
Does.
right? How you rotate that hand probably made a difference, right? No? Don't even know? Yeah. Locking it out versus not? Yeah.
There's a difference there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. About 10 seconds here. We're gonna get up, we're gonna walk around. What I'll say to the chat, because we're in a good flow right now, and I want to make sure I get the questions. If you have questions, type them into the chat for me. And just be technically, I'm not going to bounce back and forth, but that way we don't forget them. And I'll just quick answer them. I'll go through them when we're done with the talk here. We're almost done. If you don't have questions, great. That means I'm a great explainer. Okay. Good. Walk it off, walk it off. Walk it off, walk it off. So that was what you would consider our biggest enemy, the hip flexor. Go ahead.
Let's see.
Biggest enemy is the hip flexor. When I'm sitting in my seat, my desk, my couch, whatever, the joint is closed at this angle, which means that these tissues are shortening. Makes sense? With that tissue shortening, it has an inverse relationship to the lower back, meaning the back has to open, has to lengthen to sit here. This is overworking, this is shortening. And so the thing that we want to do to fix most people's back is extension. You just reversed everything we just did by doing that.
Oh.
You just went completely the opposite way. That is a soothing technique. You're
Yeah.
looking to feel something. So he just immediately went into these hyper ranges of motion, shortening again, because I'm going after lengthening. The body is basically combating me here. He's saying, I need to feel this other way because it doesn't know how to feel different.
Because I'm a subconscious.
Correct. The body is looking to feel at homeostasis. I'm showing him a new pathway, a new movement pattern, right? He is going, I want to go back to the other thing. So think about that. What are you doing that's compensatory? That's compensatory, right? So let me hip shift. That was the hip flexor. We did that. Good. I also want to do on the ground.
Yeah.
We yeah, you can still stay in the center. You bet. We're gonna be seated. We're gonna be seated on the ground, facing out. Yep. Good. We're gonna do 90-90 position here. And so we're going to bend the knee. Good. Let this leg fall over. Good. Just like this. Sammy, can you get in this position?
Let me see.
Be worth a shot. Now, this is a 90-90 position. I want to see two 90-degree angles. Basically trying to create this really happy space in your crotch area. Good, Sammy. Good job. Good. This is a home base position. Now, can you sit up nice and tall from this position and take your hands off the ground? Let your hands off your legs. Good. Sammy, reach to me, give me a hug. Reach to me, give me a hug. Attaboy. Good. Inside muscles driving left knee into the ground. Keep sitting up tall. Inside, no, you don't get to lean forward. Get your hands off your legs. Get your hands off your legs. This is working a bunch of different things. This is not only mobilizing, this is also activating. You're turning on different muscles within the hip that help stabilize the spine. Good. Now, from this position, I'd like to then turn, both hands lay out. Yep, both hands lay out. And now lay down. Turn and lay down. Turn and lay down. Both hands lay out. Good. Sammy, you're going to turn towards Willie. Both hands reach out. Lay down just like him. He's doing exactly right. This now goes into our spiral line. This is one of the fascial lines. This is basically from the side of the foot wrapping around the leg. Now, I will be shocked if Sammy doesn't feel this a little bit right where he was cramping. Sammy?
I feel it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, not a lot.
Not a lot. Reach your right arm out towards Wheelie more. I like to say spider fingers. Yeah, reach, 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 reach. The quality of the stretch is determined by the quality of the tension. Find me tension. Like Vasi, I would push your legs back farther. Good. Good. Willie, I would roll that right shoulder down. You've got some ribcage crap going on there. Good. When we think about these types of things, we're looking in this position, we're mobilizing internal rotations of the hip. We're looking at, I would say positive rotation because you don't internally rotate the rib cage, but you're positively rotating the rib cage across, creating thoracic mobility. This is also getting into the shoulders. Fascial systems is a full system integration. We want to work all of it. Let's come out, use your hands, take your time. Good, take your time, take your time. That might be a lot. Good, we're gonna switch sides. I'm only giving a couple, so first we're gonna sit up, give a hug. No. Go back to where you were. You weren't here when we did the last show. Give me a hug. Don't move. That's it. That's the first piece of the drill you didn't do. Good. Boys, we're gonna do the same exact thing on the other side. Flip that leg around, baby. Good. Make sure 90 degrees. I don't want, yeah, 90 degrees, 90 degrees.
Right off the.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Good.
Good. Sammy, now can you sit up? Freeze. Freeze, Bubba. Freeze, Bubba. Your hand on, put this hand up on this chair. Put it up. Good. Now, so you're cramping on that side.
Yeah.
So he doesn't like any sort of external rotation. Back to that position. Take the chair away. Keep your hand supporting you. And just keep your hand underneath you. Put this hand on the ground. Put this hand. Yeah. And now, stay in a position that you don't cramp. Give me pressure here. And that's it. So that shows me that we need to start to work this position. You've got a, basically, he's got a discrepancy going on in one of his hips, or he's dropping really hard to the side. So when we're starting to take him out of that, the body goes, stop, because it doesn't know what it wants. It doesn't know what natural is. He's got 78 years of movement patterns integrated. It's not a bad thing. We have to appreciate it. Did it calm down a little bit?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so I don't want to hurt you, but at the same time, I want to challenge you. We are going to turn now and lay down. So both hands are going to lay out. Bossy, watch your head on the table. Both hands, yep, lay down. Yep, you got it, baby.
And the
Yep,
hips where they were. Leave them, I think, right where they.
yep, just right where they were, Bubba.
Okay.
This is on the ground. Come back here. Come back here. Back here, Bubba. Good. That's better. Is that better for you?
No.
What go to where's better? I want you to go to where.
It's my,
Arms are getting tired?
yeah.
Why don't you just roll out? Just roll out. Yeah, zero to the ground. You get there? We're done. We'll take a break.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get on up at your own pace, walk around a little bit. We're gonna just take a break there for a second,
Okay.
okay? Because I don't want to overdo it, right? A lot of this stuff is new. Cool.
Yep.
Something very important that I want to make mention. Sammy's been killing it here. His body is starting to tell us that he's getting tired. Nervous system work, just lacrosse ball, just myofascial releases can tax someone. I usually only give 2 or 3 of these at a time to somebody. We're doing a assortment in one day because I only have 2 hours. Please understand that Sammy's done a great job. It's important to to remember this is built over time, right? And so we stop, we say great job, still listen, still learn. I'm going to do one more thing that I do want you to be a part of here. But other than that, sit, relax, get some water. When you feel more on it, you can hop back in by all means. Okay. I just want to break. For all you at home, just please remember that you move at your own pace. Obviously, someone who does this more consistently has a tolerance for it. Good. Sit on up, relax. So we did 90-90 hip shift. I did a modification of World's Greatest. We've done half kneeling hip flexor. I want to do open book to finish out. and I'm spending more time on mobilization, more time on release work, less time on activation today, because most of you need mobilization and release work first, where activation is now turning everything back on. But you have to have the range of motion first before you turn things on. Make sense? So we're gonna come back in. Willie's gonna lay on the ground. Head up here, feet here. Now, this one should be probably pretty easy for you if you want to. You don't have to. You just watch. If you do it, I want a pillow under your head. Lay on the ground facing me. Yep. Nope. Don't turn. Just roll. Just roll like we're gonna. Yep. Like you're cuddling. Yep. Hand back behind your head. Good. Comfy. Lay down. Good. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Good. Now, I like a straight line here. I messed this up. Oh, give me.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
There,
90
yeah.
degrees. Good.
Like
Yes.
chair here.
Like you're sitting in a seat.
Okay.
90 degrees. So you're going to pick your legs up a little farther. Good. Now, in this position, both hands are going to go forward like a clamshell. I want, without moving the top leg, I want you to take a big breath in and exhale, rotating open to the screen. Exhale. This is a simple open book or clamshell. And what you'll see, rotate your head with it, Sammy. What you'll see is this top leg wants to start to move. We want it to be locked down. In turn, breathe in and come back to center. Each one is its own breath. So breathe in, come to center. Exhale, open. This is thoracic mobilization. We've gone after some hips. We did a hip flexor. We did a little bit of ankle. Now we're mobilizing thoracic spine. Great job, Sammy. Keep this knee down. Keep it down. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Breathe in to me. Breathe in. Bring your hands. Bring your hands. Bring it. Breathe in. Exhale, get away from me. Vasi, 90 degrees with your legs. Keep your legs. He didn't listen to us. You know, I said, this stays down. Now, breathe in and go. Breathe out. Good. Keep your knees together. Good. You'll notice one side versus the other is going to have some issues. Vasi's got some pretty good shoulder stuff going on. I love this for her. Rib cage damage, shoulder impingement stuff when she was laying on the ground. This is going to really start to just move it in a way that starts to open her again. And what we'll see is naturally the side that she's struggling with, she is going to have a harder time with her leg, keeping it down and not rolling out the back, right? Because we want the hip to be locked when we start to think about our thoracic rotation, right? Go ahead. Let me get one more. Again, I like rep ranges here. We're thinking 10s. If you do a couple more, great. The last rep, I like to stay in the open position. Now I push my range of motion. Now I stay there. I think about my form. I think about my knees. I think about my hips. And now I'm exhaling, trying to find just a little bit more range of motion. Driving that left shoulder into the ground, team. Good job. Sammy, how you feeling?
Okay.
Good job, buddy. Beautiful. How's that feel for you?
Great, great.
You've done these before, not too much.
No, I haven't. This is a new one to me.
What-
But I can feel the whole nervous system kicking in
Good,
for sure.
Good. We're gonna flip sides. We're gonna come out of it nicely. You're gonna roll to the other side. Remember, we want to get the good setup. We want you ready to go from the start in a good position. Good. 90 degrees with our legs. Good. Yeah. Beautiful. Nice tall spine. A lot of people will get set up and they're gonna be like this. Tall through the spine, ready to go. Breathe. Exhale, open, other hand out. Other hand out, good. Yeah. You're tighter on this side. I can tell already.
Yeah,
I can see it through here. Yeah.
okay.
Good. Just like breathing, just like meditation, Willie had said a really cool point in the fact that he's like, I feel my nervous system. Yeah, I absolutely believe that. All these drills are tapping into different pieces to it, different movement patterns, and the breath is massively important. Think about what feels stuck, what feels sticky. Is it hard to breathe on one side? Do you get confused when you go to one side versus the other? Some awareness might need to be talked about in terms of like how you're approaching rotation left versus rotation right. All of it is acceptable. None of it is wrong. You just appreciate it. But you need to also work on those sorts of things. Okay. Why did that shoot? Good, last one. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's stand up, let's go walk around. We're gonna finish up here.
Josh, with breathing, is it through nose, through mouth? Does it matter in your thought process?
Yes, it matters.
Mm-hmm.
In this moment, a lot of people don't spend any time focused on breath.
Okay.
Just breathe. Just do something. That being said, in through the nose, out through the mouth does have a lot of nervous system states. So there's two states to the nervous system. Sympathetic, it's fight or flight. Parasympathetic, rest and digest. Meditation, calm. And so in through the nose, out through the mouth helps regulate your vagus nerve to sedate you, forces relaxation. But if you don't do any breathing through the week, just focused on will be wonderful for people. Go ahead and do a walk down the hallway and back. For those at home, I think I hope that some of you are just sitting on the couch looking at you, Mom. Hope you're doing these drills with me, Mom. Listen, she's gonna sign up for this. She better not come to a live presentation. I would just harass you, and the problem is she would harass me back in front of no matter how big the room is. Good, how do you feel?
Good, good. Just a little on guard in the low back.
Why? This is important. This is important. Yes. Why?
Because I perceive that's my weak point.
And
that's
why
what-
do you think you're on guard?
Because that's where most of my pain stems from.
And are you in pain right now?
No, just in protection mode.
Have you done any of these movements before? A lot of them? Have you done?
I'd say about half of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so why would you be in protection mode right now?
Yeah,
I'm leading him.
I think just because it's some new movements and I'm so hyper aware of everything that's happening. So that
Yeah.
area of that seems to be most wounded, I guess I always try to protect.
It's his Achilles heel. And
Yeah.
so it's natural to feel that way. You are allowed to feel that way. He did a great job. He is aware of it. And so what I'll see a lot of times with people who do have chronic injury is they're scared. And the fear comes back. I'll get phone calls from people. On one day, they're almost in tears because they're so timid. Then the other day, they're doing 16 hours at Disney, walking their family around with a backpack truck. And I'm like, think about what you just told me. And now you're telling me you're afraid to bend over because you did a different mobility routine. Like, what? It doesn't make sense. And it's because most back pain, about 70% is psychosomatic. And it is psychological. It is not you. No, there's probably something that you did. You said you had an injury profile. Totally. But long term, let's say we're training day after day,
Yeah.
month after month, you're doing this on your own. My other piece of this is I ask over and over in therapy, how do you feel? Oh, I feel fine. Are you hurt? No. Are you in pain? No. And I get you almost like a mantra to start to talk to me. Are you in pain? Well, no. And then eventually you start to basically tell yourself of like, oh, I'm not in pain. I'm actually doing okay. Right? It's interesting how that works. It's powerful for you at home. I want you to think about doing that as you're going through some of these movements. You're checking in with yourself. Yeah, I am tight on the right side. Oh, I am here, blah, 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 blah. But I'm not in pain.
So you're trying to change that repetitive pattern of brain.
You have to change the script. Yeah. Own the pain,
Mhm.
right? I'm not taking that away from you, but at the same time, it's an acceptance of what's there.
You can check the questions.
Yeah. When we do activation,
Okay. All right, no questions. Sounds good.
Great.
All right, well, yeah, just want to honor people's time. It is 11:05 right now, so, yeah, I know. Okay.
what's your time like?
Okay, thank you to everybody on the live stream. I'm gonna stop the recording, and, oh, you're still going? Okay, did you wanna
I was gonna finish it. If they're good with it, it's up to
Okay,
you.
yes, please finish it. Yes,
Well,
go ahead.
because you said the next people aren't here till 1.
Yeah, but we're going to Big B's for in between to for me to meet people.
We have, what time do we have lunch?
11:30.
All right, hang it. Bye, guys.
Well, you want to say some things to just wrap it up?
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm so happy Ruth is here. Ladies, I love you all. Y'all are the best. Go. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Gentlemen, Bossy, while she hangs up, you can stop it. You can do what you need to over there.